Hey guys, how the hell are you? Welcome back once again to Arnold Drinks. My name is Arnold, and tonight I drink. So tonight is yet again another special episode because I get to finally dive into one of those storied, hallowed bourbons that people chase after. There's a lot of hype surrounding it. Is it something that is up there with like the super hyped bottles that you see four-figure price tags for on the secondary? No. But is this still one that people hunt for? Yes. And I finally have a bottle. I finally have a chance to actually try this. Believe it or not, I've never had Elijah Craig Barrel Proof until I secured this bottle. So this is kind of a momentous occasion. I finally get to check out what all the fuss is about. Now this is Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C922, meaning that this came out around about September of last year. I only recently actually procured this bottle, so bear with me. I know that A123 is going out to the retailers right now, but I haven't seen it. I've only seen this one, so this is what I picked up. But all the same, I finally get to check and see what is going on with this. So, for those of you guys that are unaware, with C922, it is a proofage of 124.8, if I remember right. Yes, 124.8. It does still have the 12-year age statement right here on the bottle, on the side here. You guys already know this isn't something where it's sourced. This is their own distillate. Elijah Craig's been around forever, so you would think they would know a damn thing or two about crafting a really killer bottle of barrel proof whiskey. So let's dive in. Let's see. First of all, by the way, I should mention when I poured this sucker, man, did it fill the room with that aroma. So definitely some brown sugar and dark fruit notes on that aroma. Very woody. Even in the aroma, I'm getting a lot of oak on that nose. That brown sugar keeps coming back. Little syrupy, but not too much. A little faint oiled leather note in there. That's interesting. So some nice mature notes in there, but also like some desserty stuff going on in there. A little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of baking spice that's in there too. No graininess in the aroma whatsoever. Everything is nice and balanced in that aroma. So if the palate kind of lines up with that nose, then this ought to be a good experience. Cheers. That oak is big and bold, very upfront. The dark fruit notes that I was getting on the aroma, very much subdued, getting something like a burnt sugar or burnt caramel thing kind of happening there. Burnt caramel, that's a better way of describing it. A little bit of syrup in there, like a little hint of maple syrup. That brown sugar is probably the most prominent thing that I'm getting out of that. That's pretty good. That's pretty awesome. Let's go back in again as I splash in my face. Definitely getting a fair amount of heat in that Glencairn. So I know that this is 124.8 proof, but this is not my first whiskey of the day. It's not even my first cast strength or barrel proof whiskey of the day. I had a little sip of something else to refamiliarize myself with it as I was editing the video for an upcoming review. And man, that is burning a little hot to me. There's a lot of alcohol heat in that. The finish is sort of kind of medium to long. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of expected that to be a little bit longer given the fact that it's 12 year, given the fact that it's barrel proof. I kind of expected it to be holding on with a little bit more gusto. It's like it burns you with a lot of heat. It gives you those flavor notes kind of right off the bat, but then just the finish is just kind of an easygoing tapering off into nothingness. Let's go back in again. So I do kind of see why people chase after this, because you want to talk about a lot of mature notes in whiskey, in bourbon. This has got it. And it's funny, now on this sip, that finish is being a little bit more impactful. I don't know if I did something different with swirling around before I knocked it back, but like now all of a sudden that's kind of kicking in and lasting. The baking spice, that cinnamony note that's on the back. There's definitely kind of a strong rye bread and rye spice note that's in there that is being super impactful, especially with all that damn oak. But at the same time, you do have a little bit of sweetness that's trying to get in there, trying to temper it. Ultimately, I feel like this is something where those big, bold notes are coming from the less sweet and more spicy and more mature kind of side of things. Hence the oak, the oiled leather, that sort of thing. So would I say that this is worth the hype? You know, I gotta be honest. I've heard that long before I really got into bourbon, long before I was kind of diving in and learning all that I could about it, I heard that these bottles were significantly less expensive. I heard that they were maybe a little bit below the $50 price point even. And at less than $50, I would say that that is fantastic. I would say that that is a great value. I would say that what's coming out of there is awesome. But at about $65, which is what I paid for it, I would say that that's fair. I would say it's not a good value at that point, but at the same time, it's not overpriced. It just has a lot of notes that I don't really go for. They're not really my jam. So, I mean, is it a bad whiskey? Not by any stretch of the imagination. But is it something that just is lacking a little bit in what I look for? Yeah, so let's just go in one more time now that I've kind of waxed eloquent, now that I've kind of filled the room with my hot air. Let's go in one final time just to see if anything has changed and if anything is going to change my opinion. And see, on that one, there's like a little bit of a malty, chocolatey-ness that's trying to creep up. It's not to a huge extent by any stretch, but there's just a little kiss of something back there. Also, that kind of burnt caramel thing is a little bit more in the forefront this go around, this final go around. So there are some sweeter notes in there, but I kind of feel like you just have to give it time with this. You have to let it sit in the glass. You have to sort of get enveloped in the experience a little bit, because you're going to get something a little bit different every time. But needless to say, my opinion, not really changing so much. Is this a damn solid bottle? It is. Is it something I'm going to reach for as a first pick whenever I'm feeling like having a sip of tasty bourbon? Nah, not my first pick, but damn good all the same. So thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel. There's tons more of this content to come. And as always, remember, take what you do seriously, but do not take yourselves too seriously.